Everyone gets in their feelings when they hear sounds like this. But what's so special about these beats? In this video we'll break down 2 of our samples that capture this beautiful vibe. The base of these kind of samples or songs is often created by extremely atmospheric chords, which are created by synthesizers. We started our first sample with a 1-3-6-5 chord progression in E minor. The downwards movement in this scale creates this special melancholic feeling you usually get in these kind of songs. We rendered out the chords, pitched them up 1 octave and put some effects on it to create a little bit of variation and have a nice melodic texture. To give the chords more body and depth, we added a simple bass line. We just followed the root notes of the chords, and in the end we made it a bit more interesting by adding a different bass one-shot, which sounds a bit grittier and more distorted, just to give it a bit more flavor. What really sets the mood of this sample is this atmospheric synth melody in the background. We made it very simple with just a few notes, and to give it this unique sound we added some pitch bends and lots of reverb. A nice way to add some extra emotion to the sample is by adding some vocal chops. I created the vocals by singing some random melodic riffs. If you know some of our latest videos, you know that I'm not the best singer at all. I personally like the sound of pitch down vocals. I found out that the perfect range for my vocals is when they pitch down 3 semitones. So every time we create a sample, I pitch it up 3 semitones, and after that I export my vocals and pitch them down again. One of the most important effects for these kind of vocal chops is the little altar boy to pitch the formants down. I also use a little bit of reverb and distortion to give it a nice texture. We added lots of textures and melodic accents to give the sample depth without overcrowding it by adding tons of melodies. For this it's really important to get creative and add lots of effects. I can't even tell you what we exactly did, but we added lots of one-shots, little melodies, rendered them out, reversed them, pitched them around, and just played around until we had some nice textures and accents. We also added some drowned out percussion in the background to give the sample some rhythm. For the switch up, I just used some higher synth notes to create a little catchy top melody, and also added some arpeggiated chords in the end to create a bit of tension and lift the mood a little bit before it gets to the last part of the sample. For this melody we added some secret sauce. We recorded the melody with my tape recorder, and then when recording it back into FL I added a little bit of a tape stop effect by very quickly pressing the reverse button on my tape recorder, and that layered with the original melody just gives it a very subtle and interesting texture.
For the last part of the sample, we didn't really add anything. We just added a bass line back in, added a pumping effect on the main pad by using a tremolator, and we also automated a tremolator on the atmospheric lead sound. And to finish it off, we just pitched the entire sample up one semitone.
As for the first sample, the base of our second sample is also built by very atmospheric chords that we created with some synthesizer sounds, also from Teleton Audio Scabo. In comparison to the first sample, this one is much darker. What really helps to create this tension is the first chord. This one is not a normal minor chord, it's a sus2, and this helps to create a much darker atmosphere. This time we added also a little bit more of variation in the chords. We also layered two different synth sounds, one with more body and bass and the other one for the high frequencies.
We all know it wouldn't be a Lucid video without a reverse guitar. I played in a few random riffs over the chords. As always, reversed my guitar, made it twice as fast and added lots of effects to create a beautiful texture. For more feeling, we once again added a simple, subby, dark bass line, just following the root notes of the chords.
What makes this sample really unique is this very outstanding top melody we played with the synthesizer. I just jammed around a little bit on the MIDI keyboard and I found the perfect melody variation to give it this last epic dark feeling. To make this melody even more outstanding and unique, we replaced some normal notes with slide notes.
As always, the sample needed some texture. For this sample we focused more on percussive textures. We added a kick drum on the first beat, an open hat, and a sound that I really love. This weird, distorted, submarine radar type sound, which really adds a lot of flavor to the sample in my opinion.
We wanted to make the second part of the sample a little bit more different, so we added a bass one shot on the one of the normal bass line. We also added some pauses between the bass note. This really highlights the different parts in the sample because it creates this nice tension between the different sections. As always, for my vocals, I pitched the sample up 3 semitones so I can record my vocals in my personal sweet spot, and after that I pitched it down again.
Since we placed the vocals right in the breaks of the bass line, we wanted to make them really stand out, so we added a bit more processing than usual. We have one pretty normal layer with some little altar boy, distortion and reverb. But to add this crispy high end on the vocals, we added another layer. We used the same vocals but used little altar boy to pitch it up an octave. We added lots of distortion and then we used an EQ to isolate only the really high frequencies of the vocals. And by mixing just a bit of that in, the vocals just sound really present and crispy. To put even more emphasis on the vocals, we rendered out a reverb tail of them, reversed it, and then just used it as a riser to lead into the vocals.
If you like these kind of samples, we just released our new sample pack called Indigo, which includes these nostalgic, warm and dark synthesizer type of samples. We put lots of work into them. They are very, very detailed. They come with many layers and also with the stems, so you can rearrange them like you want.
As always, there's also a free version of this kit in case you don't want to spend any money. So go check it out, it's on my website, link will be in the description. And yeah,